Good day, everyone. Today we have here with us Dr. Praveen Jacob from Sirsi in Karnataka. He's outstanding advocate of gut health and has done a lot of good work to his credit. And here he is as a speaker to Prism Academy's first integrative international medical conference. Good day, Dr. Praveen.
Welcome, sir.
Everyone talks about the gut. You open today any Facebook page, Insta page, there are a lot of information which comes regarding the stomach, the intestines, and the big thing is everyone talks about fasting.
Fasting, yeah.
Fasting and
Of
different
course.
modalities of fasting. So if we start by asking you, what are your views on fasting and intermittent fasting, and how one should aim to go about doing it if they are aiming to get good gut health?
Ayurveda spoke 4,000 years ago that Langanam Paramaushano,
Mm,
which translates into the fasting is the ultimate medicines.
that's right.
And of the late, from past 5 decades, everyone had a notion we need to eat every 2 hours, frequent meals. That's the best way to sustain your health.
That's all the advice we've been giving the diabetic patients.
Yeah,
Eat frequent
eat
meals.
frequently and small meals
Mm.
multiple times. We had been spoke from but the recent studies
Mm,
and particularly Nobel Prize of 2017,
that's right.
which was a paradigm shift in the health field,
Mm.
because the Nobel Prize of Medicine 2017 has been credited to a scientist from Japan, Yoshinori Osumi,
Yes.
and he found that intermittent fasting activates a process in human body called as autophagy.
Mm.
And autophagy won the Nobel Prize for the medicine of 2017.
So that was actually a very eye-opening thing, like you said. I mean, we and traditionally in Hindu religion and in a lot of other religions as well, there's always been periods of fast and fasting. In our religion, especially, we call it Ekadasi fast,
Yes,
which
yes,
comes every
definitely.
14 days.
Yeah.
So does it almost mimic the research of Dr.
Yeah, absolutely right. So he found that 16 hour of abstaining from the food kick off a process called as autophagy.
Right.
And autophagy is nothing but literally translate into self-eating. Auto means self, phagy, eating, self-eating. What he found when we do fasting for more than 10 hours, 12 hours, the cells are deprived of energy. To maintain cellular energy, the cells try to process the garbages which is stationed inside the cells from longer period of time.
Right.
So after 12 hours, the garbage start converting into energy, and maybe by 16 hours this process get terminated.
Right.
That's what is called as autophagy, self-eating.
Yeah.
If you can add like a 14 hours to 16 hours,
Yes.
the benefit is much better.
Right. So 16 hours, till 16 hours, it's considered intermittent fasting.
Intermittent fasting, 16-8.
16. So you eat in an 8-hour window.
8-hour window,
Right.
and 16 hour abstaining from the food.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And there must be benefits to fasting longer than 16 hours as well. There must be other benefits, additional
Yeah,
benefits.
definitely there had been no studies documented regarding long-term fasting.
Okay.
Most of the studies had been conducted on intermittent fasting,
Okay.
which demonstrated that outstanding benefits in terms of longevity, preventing the cancer, anti-aging, and remission of like polycystic ovarian disorders. The benefits are really multiple.
And these things have to be done on a daily basis.
Yeah, intermittent fasting should be like a hygiene.
Okay.
It should be a routine.
Okay.
Not just for 1 day or 2 days. If you can adopt for longer time,
Right.
which can yield a better benefit. Because I'm beneficiary of intermittent fasting. My father was suffering from diabetes when he turned 26-year-old.
Right.
My grandma couldn't celebrate 50th birthday. She succumbed to the complication of diabetes.
Right.
It runs in my family. My grandma sisters, my dad's siblings, my siblings, most of them developed diabetes at younger age.
Right.
Even I was thinking it's a destiny. But when I was diagnosed diabetes, I started studying the root cause of diabetes. I found that it is neither from my gene nor from my stress I developed diabetes. It's from my plate.
Right.
not from gene, from my plate. So my father consumed 5 meals per day. My grandma trained all their children to consume 5 times food per day. Like 2 breakfast, traditionally in Kerala. I hail from Kerala. They consume like 1 o'clock lunch, again 4 o'clock snacks, and dinner. 5 to 6 meals minimum per day.
Right.
I cut back 5 meals to 2 meals per day.
Right.
Yeah, I reduced my calorie intake.
Automatically it reduces.
And my diabetes disappeared in 3 months.
And by following the 16-8.
16-8 and cutting back on calories
as well. Automatically you reduce 5 to 2 meals, automatically more than 50%.
2 meals, yes.
How do you think these 2 meals would have helped you?
Yeah, it's amazing questions. Because you see, the genes are similar to seeds. Store the seeds in the container inside the cupboard, does not get germination.
Yes.
If you threw these seeds to the soil, once the seeds are exposed to sunlight, the nutrients of the soil, the germination immediately get kicked off. Got my point here?
That's right.
So similarly, my genes, if you consume 5 meals, it's a fuel for my diabetic gene.
Right.
So when I consume 2 meals, my diabetic genes started starving, and it is in the sleeping mode today. The moment I start eating 5 meals, again it might surface.
So you are able to turn on and turn off the genes using
by calorie restriction of calorie. It's not just for diabetic gene. You might have cancer genes. One might have diabetic gene, obesity gene, different types, arthritis genes. But one important fact, there's 2 factors. One is genetical factor, which is seeds. Next is environmental factor, which is sunlight and the fuel, the nutrients of the soils. So genetical factor cannot be modified. It's a fixed.
Yes.
But you can modify environmental factor. So my father environmental factor activated the diabetes gene was 5 meals.
Yes.
What I did, I have same gene, same seeds sweeping. When I took 2 meals per day, I got complete control of. So the take-home message here, one might have bad genes, but need not worry. If you reduce the calorie, you can suppress or turn off all type of inflammatory genes and diabetic or cancer genes.
Is 16-8 the most ideal time, or is there any other timing you would suggest? And what is the most useful time for weight loss?
Yes, you see, 16-8 is absolutely good to control diabetes, to get rid of polycystic ovarian disorder. But as far as obesity is concerned, I found that 18-6 is amazing.
Okay.
Yeah. And the best time, ideal time, usually I do my breakfast, I consume on 11 o'clock and next meal 7 o'clock. So 8 hours.
8 hours.
I consume dinner at 7 o'clock evening, my breakfast 11 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you shorten the window by another 2 hours, that helps with weight loss as well.
Weight loss, like if you 18-6 is the beautiful program because I help thousands of my patients to come out from the obesity crisis by motivating them to follow 18-6 meal plan.
I think in this day and age, a lot of the people with their workload and stress and things, most of the time it's comfort eating.
Yeah.
Most of the time they see something, they want to eat something. And second is the ease and the accessibility by ordering it online, which is actually making so they need to make a conscious effort. If they actually take a conscious decision, they're going to follow 16-8 or something like that, then all these things will fade off into the background, and they can start living a much more healthy and happy life.
Yeah, definitely, sir. Because we are surrounded by calorie bombs. You just open your refrigerator, you get 10,000 calories stored inside your cupboard, inside the refrigerator. You are everywhere, you go anywhere, surrounded by. Even I'm traveling today, Vande Bharat Express from Chennai to, Chennai to Bangalore. I'm worried that they may serve me a 500 calorie. It's extra food for me. That is killing me. Today, it's not the HIV or atom bomb or terrorists kill the most of the human. We are victims of excess calorie. Maybe the highest death toll comes from excess calorie intake.
This current way of life, what we're leading.
Yes.
So when we talk about gut health, people think it's the stomach. Some people think it's the colon, large intestine. What exactly you mean by the gut?
The gut means digestive tract, the digestive system. Previously we had a notion that digestive tract is just to process the food and to eliminate the waste from our body. That was notion. But from the past two decades, scientists started identifying a tiny creature from the gut called as gut microbes, which was the transformation in the medical field. Today, numerous so-called incurable disease are under the control by targeting the gut microbes. So what is significance of this gut bacteria? For instance, human body composed of two types of cells. Human cells, definitely we inherited from our parents. And second is microbial cells. Do you know one mystery? The microbial cells outnumber human cells.
Yes.
Like my body is composed of 80 trillion cells. I possess 80 trillion cells. Only 30 trillion cells I possess inherited from my parents. 50 trillions are bacteria cells.
It's more than the
human. So always I love to call human as 50% human and 50% we are bacterial. They're invisible to our eyes, but they perform incredible jobs. Likewise, if you look at the environment, the garbages disappear after 1 week. Who convert them to soil? Bacteria. The milk, one more example. If you add yogurt or start the previous day's buttermilk, the milk get converted into yogurt. If you don't add bacteria to milk, the same milk gets spoiled. The best example of bacteria. So when you have good bacteria, that helps to process the foods. They make food more nutritious, helps to break down the food, helps to assimilate the foods to your. When you don't have bacteria in your gut, the best food you consume become poisonous. Right. Like milk gets spoiled. Yeah. So one important fact to be noticed here that we process two types of cell. One is bacteria cells. Second is human cell. And one more fact is important: the genes. I have 22,000 sets of genes from my parents, but number of bacteria genes in my body 5 million. Wow. So we are more bacterial than human. And they dictate our life, not the control.
Okay.
They dictate our life.
And what are the functions? Do their functions differ by the area they reside in, or how does it work? For example, the colonic bacteria are different from the bacteria in the gut, and the bacteria on the skin are different from the bacteria in the oropharynx, or how does it work?
Okay, this most of microbes resides in their colon, digestive tract. As I told you, about 50 trillion cells. Of 50 trillion, 99% are located in our colon, large intestine.
Right.
And small intestine and stomach harbors very small quantity of microbes. So the different bacteria has got different functions. For example, few bacteria convert milk into yogurt. Few microbes helps to produce toddy or alcohol. Few bacteria helps to produce like pickles. Yes. Fermentation. That helps to have the fermentation. Few bacteria helps to produce oxygen, atmospheric oxygen. And few microbes convert stool into soil. Even biogas produced by bacteria, fermentation of bacteria. So likewise, different bacteria perform different tasks. Exactly similar to that in human body, we have different sets of bacteria. Few set of bacteria, few strains of bacteria helps to break down proteins. Few bacteria helps to break down milk. Few bacteria helps to break down and process lactose. Few bacteria produce brain hormone. Okay. 50 brain hormones synthesized inside the gut and exported to brain. 50 brain hormone. For instance, the serotonin, the chief brain hormone, 95% is produced in your gut by the help of bacteria. So that's what, when you have smiley Madhya Pradesh, happy Uttar Pradesh.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, because brain hormones produced from your gut, and few bacteria induce peristaltic movement. Few bacteria helps to produce stool formation. If you miss that bacteria, end up in constipation. When you have bacteria which helps to break down the gluten, you get gluten allergy.
Which I mean, the bacteria are absent.
It's not that you have genetical issue with the gluten allergy. Your genes are
those bacteria are not present in our body.
Basically that is an issue. When you miss some strains of bacteria, that ends up in lactose intolerance.
So most of this then, can it be corrected by correcting the gut microbiota?
Yeah, definitely. Yes, numerous studies. The best way, a combination of prebiotic and probiotics.
Okay.
The prebiotics are similar to soil.
Mm.
The probiotics are seeds.
Mm.
Without soil, seeds cannot germinate. Similarly, the combination of prebiotics and probiotic helps to fix the gut disturbance.
Good. And is there anything you would like to say about this specific form of prebiotics? Is there something which people can make at home kind of
Yeah,
thing?
definitely there are multiple prebiotics are found in the regular food we consume.
Okay.
Like onion contain inulin,
Mm.
the lady's finger, the mucus.
Mm.
When you break some vegetables, you get a mucus layer. That's nothing but soluble fiber.
Right.
Yeah, lady's finger is good source of soluble fiber. The banana, the stems of banana.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a great source of fiber. And another one, flax seeds, chia seeds, guava fruits. This all are loaded with the good fiber.
So I think on the whole, from if you summarize what we discussed, having a healthy plate,
Yeah,
you can turn off certain
turn
genes,
off and inflammatory genes.
inflammatory genes. You can also have a very happy and healthy gut
Yeah,
with calorie restriction and good natural pre and probiotics.
yeah. Genes load the gun, environment pull the trigger. One need not worry about the genetical factor because two factors manifest as disease. One is genetical factor and environmental factor. So you can control environmental factor and manage most of the genetical disorders.
Thank you, Dr. Praveen. Thank you so much
Welcome,
for your
sir.
time.
Welcome.